It's Dr. Bridget Young here from babyformulaexpert.com with my sidekick Peter. We're going to show you how we shop for baby food. Peter's my son and he is now 9 months old. He's very chatty, so I'm sure he'll chime in on our conversation. I'm in my local supermarket and the baby food aisle extends seemingly forever and can be really overwhelming for parents, especially if they're just starting out. So I'm here to tell you how I actually shop for food and what I look for when I buy food for Peter. Yeah. The first thing you should know is if you're buying food for a younger baby, maybe 5 or 6 months when they're just starting solid food, you need to know that babies have different nutritional needs depending on if they were breastfed or formula fed. Breastfed babies have an especially high need for iron and zinc around 6 months of age because there's not much iron or zinc in breast milk. And so that's why the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends an infant cereal as the first food. That's because all infant cereals are fortified with iron. So the cereal itself is simply a vehicle for giving an iron supplement to your baby. Up here we have a huge variety of types of baby cereal, don't we? We have rice, oatmeal, organic, not, etc. I don't have a firm opinion on organic or not. I chose to do organic foods with Peter when first starting out because their intestines are still so immature at that point, but you can make that choice for your own family. I do have an opinion on rice versus oatmeal cereal are the most common choices that you'll see. Oatmeal cereal, if you flip over to the back, you'll see all of the vitamins and minerals that are added to the cereal. Yes. Especially iron and zinc. Great, handsome. Try this and maybe that'll oatmeal cereal has more protein and more fiber than rice cereal. This is going to make absorption of all the sugars, the carbohydrates in the cereals, a little slower from an oatmeal cereal. I think that's a good thing because there is so much carbohydrate or sugar in these cereals, more than baby is used to eating at once, especially if this is their first food. So I recommend an oatmeal cereal for tiny babies that are just starting out as opposed to a rice cereal. Now Petey is a few months older, so he's getting all different kinds of foods now, but one food that he gets every single day is meat, and this is because meat is the most rich natural source of both iron and zinc, and I prefer him to get his vitamins and minerals from food as opposed to a supplement whenever possible. So there are not many meat options at the grocery store, but there always are a couple. I'm standing in front of them right now. The two biggest national brands you'll see are Gerber and Beechnut, and they sell these tiny jars of meat purees. They'll be beef, turkey, and chicken. And when choosing between these two, I usually always choose Beechnut, which happens to be on sale this week, hey! And this is because the Gerber meats add cornstarch in order to make the meat less jelly-like when you open it up. But you'll be warming it up for your baby anyway, so I prefer to give him something without cornstarch. Cornstarch doesn't provide him any nutrition, so I don't feel the need to give it to him. So, since they're on sale anyway, I'm going to get a couple of each meat. So we have beef and turkey, and they have chicken as well. Not even my baby likes to eat just plain meat. So in our house, and I recommend you do this too, we are huge fans of mixing baby food.
Joanna 2202.
Even baby foods that come already mixed.
2202.
So next I'm going to look for some vegetable blends that I'm going to, when I go home, mix a vegetable blend with a small meat jar. So it's mostly vegetables with a little bit of meat, and Petey finds that much easier to eat than just plain meat itself. Oh boy, we'll have to wash that, huh? So, next I'm going to look for veggies. When I'm looking for a vegetable blend, the thing to keep in mind, that I keep in mind that you should too, is that the goal when feeding a baby this small
please, Kevin and grocery aisle 8,
is to optimize nutrition in every bite. Their stomachs are obviously very small, so they can't eat much food at once, so the goal is to get as much nutrients into every bite as possible. This means focusing on all the nutrient-dense vegetables that we tell you to focus on as adults. Spinach, dark leafy greens, zucchini, those kinds of things, as opposed to the starchy vegetables like squash, potatoes, or carrots. Now, it is important that baby gets a variety of food, so I would never say don't feed your baby starchy vegetables, but try to find blends or mix them together yourself with mostly the green and the very nutrient-dense veggies as the majority ingredient.
Ooh, yeah, that was very good. Good grabbing. Excuse us.
Okay, with all that in mind, I just scanned pretty quickly, and honestly, it's easy for me to eliminate the majority of these foods right away because most baby food, my goodness, most baby food is all fruit, most of your options. I call that dessert. You know, your apples and blueberries. I'll just read a couple of examples. We have pouches over here too. Banana, peach, and mango. Bananas, beets, and blueberries. Beet is a fruit, but there's not really much beets in here. Banana and blueberry. Banana, raspberry, and brown rice. I don't feed any of those to Petey unless I call it dessert. That is a very special treat because that is a lot of sugar to feed to a baby all at once. And for example, bananas and blueberry, the amount of bananas and blueberries that went into this much puree is more than a baby would be able to eat of a whole fruit in one sitting. So in my mind, that's more sugar than they should be eating completely in one setting. 20 grams of carbohydrate, 17 grams of sugar, with absolutely no fat and less than 1 gram of protein. That's a lot of sugar with nothing else in there to help slow the absorption. That's going to be a sugar rush. So we don't have those very often, do we? So like I said, I can eliminate a lot of these right away. Here's one, spinach, apple, and kale. Let's look at this. So it says spinach, apple, and kale on the front. I'm going to turn it over and look at the back. And the first ingredient is organic apple puree, then spinach, then kale. Oh, excuse you. So this is something good to keep in mind. When you see something advertised as a mix of fruits and vegetables, spinach, apples, and kale. When I look at the ingredients, and the ingredients under the nutrition label are required to be listed in the order of amount, they may be in a different order than the front, as this one is. So when I read this and I see apple as the first ingredient, I think this is mostly apples with a little bit of spinach and a little bit of kale. That's fine. I have no problem with apples, but I do want you to know exactly what you're feeding your baby and not be fooled by marketing. So I might actually buy this one. I would call this a dessert for him because it's probably going to be mostly apples. But spinach and kale are two very nutrient-dense vegetables, so this would be a very healthy dessert. We'll try that. So I do have some of my go-to favorites that I know are floating around here.
Excuse us.
Oh my! Oh my! So I mostly buy vegetables, and I'm scanning, looking for some of my favorites. Let's see. Now that he's older, I do like mixes of vegetables because you get a variety of minerals and vitamins at once. And here, okay, yeah, here's one. Squash and sweet peas. Now, squash is a starchy vegetable, but it is a vegetable. So there's no fruit in this. So we're going to buy a couple of these. Okay, another thing that I occasionally see or purchase are the pre-made quote-unquote meals. This is the only other place you'll find meat in a baby food, so it's all mixed together. This is Happy Baby Hearty Meals, their Gobble Gobble meal, which is a blend of organic turkey, vegetables, fruit, and quinoa. So the first ingredient is carrots, followed by sweet potato, 2 starchy vegetables, then dark meat turkey, pear, onions, potato, carrot juice, quinoa, and olive oil. So I do actually really like these, especially for travel. When I'm home, it's easy for me to mix some meat in with some vegetables, but when you're out and about, there's nothing better than a pouch. Yes, and if it has some meat in it, you're going to see on the back it's going to have more protein, and it's going to have a natural source of iron and zinc. So we do like these, and I usually try to keep 1 or 2 always on hand. So those are my general rule of thumb. And then I just scan down the baby aisle looking for what's on sale, trying to focus on dark veggies, and reading the order of the ingredients if I'm buying a mix. And then I personally avoid only fruit mixes. So scan. If you do choose to feed an only fruit mix, there's nothing wrong with that. I'll show you how I mix foods at home. I do recommend that you add some source of fat in with it. One, because babies need fat, a lot of fat, and fruit doesn't have any fat in it. And 2, that extra fat will help slow the absorption of all of that sugar. So it'll help keep baby from getting that sugar rush. Ooh, I'm glad I came down here. I'm gonna point these out. Oh my goodness, baby. So here we have all of the Cheerios, finger foods, puffs. I'm gonna give you my professional opinion on these. They are a great tool for developing fine motor skills, baby's pincer grasp, and the very hard talent of picking a small thing up and putting it in your mouth. That is hard work. These are great for helping baby develop those skills. I think that's the only thing they're good for. There is pretty much zero nutritional value in any, oh my goodness, in any of those options. So again, I'm not telling you not to buy them. They serve their purpose, but don't buy them thinking that they're a very nutritional option for baby. They're great for developing fine motor skills, but they don't provide a lot of nutrition. Speaking of nutrition, it is PD snack time right now, so I'm just gonna here we go. He's having just a homemade peanut butter bar that he enjoys a lot, so we're just feeding that in between takes here. So I think I'll go ahead and end there. These are a lot of toddler meals here. I'm not going to talk about those because Kitty's not old enough to have those. And once baby is old enough to have these kinds of meals, they can eat what you're eating. Go ahead and feed them what's on your plate. You're a model for their healthy eating, so they can eat what you're eating. So we're just going to come down here and keep looking. Again, if it's a blend, trying to have the blend have mostly vegetables, and there's no meat in any of these. Oh, here's one that I haven't talked about before. There you go. It's very trendy right now to add Greek yogurt to baby food blends. I'm not a huge fan of this. First, you need to be sure that you introduce dairy alone to your baby first, because dairy can be allergenic, especially if you have food allergies in your family. So I would want baby to have already had dairy before you try one of those. And secondly, Greek yogurt is very high in protein. It's a high protein yogurt, and often the Greek yogurts used in these blends are fat-free Greek yogurt. And as I mentioned before, babies need a lot of fat. Breast milk and formula is 50% fat. So if you imagine going from completely breast milk or formula to a diet of bananas and Cheerios, that's all carbohydrate. And it's similar for something where if you add a lot of fat-free Greek yogurt. It's great that it's providing protein, but it still doesn't provide a lot of fat. I am a fan of full-fat dairy for babies who, again, have been exposed to dairy and tolerate it well. So I think I'll end that here. We'll finish getting his snack off the air. Head over to babyformulaexpert.com for a lot more details and rules of thumb written out about how I buy baby food, and also, of course, how to choose the perfect baby formula for your baby and make a confident decision that's not based on marketing. If you have any questions, you can leave them for me at the website, and we'll see you there. Thank you. Thanks for watching. This is Dr. Bridget Young from babyformulaexpert.com. Head over to the website to get more great information about how to give your baby the best nutrition possible.